Is that the Clarion?
Yeah.
Man, why are you even reading that? It's all fake news anyway. You gotta check out Fox News.
Fox News? What's that?
This term fake news has been thrown around a lot in the past couple years, but what exactly is fake news? We decided to go ask the advisor of the Clarion, Patrick Smith, how he would define fake news.
See, I think there's a difference between the way that fake news is defined by politicians and the way that fake news is defined by the media. I would define it the way the media defines it, which is news that is either fabricated or completely inaccurate. But it's been defined by politicians to be any news that I don't agree with, and that's where we have this separation of what the term means and how the public is able to respond to the term when it's used. The public doesn't know how to respond when it's used because they're getting different signals from different people about what it means.
Okay. So one of the first ways to protect yourself from fake news and to eliminate the sharing of it through social media is to simply check the headline of the article.
So if the headline of the article begins with "Woman loses 85 pounds in just 3 weeks by following this diet," then the odds of that article being accurate are extremely slim. It can be so simple, but just make sure the headline sounds realistic.
According to the Pew Research Center, 44% of Americans get their news from Facebook, which is a huge number considering how Facebook has minimal regulation on what can be posted as news.
If you were to pick one source where you get your news from, what would it be?
If I could choose one source to get my news from, it would be my social media, Instagram, because I get, there's a variety of places I get. Some resources are, more reliable than others. There's a lot of news channels that also have social media, so.
One of the first places I would look if I was searching for news is probably Reuters or BBC, because they're both UK publications, and most of my news that I get from is from international publications because I feel like they give a broader perspective. So I access Reuters on the Reuters app or the BBC app, or I go on the Apple News. I'm sure most people are familiar with that. It's on it's on the homepage, and most iPhones already come pre-installed with the news app. And I think that's a good launching point to find a lot of news because it just curates what you like. You follow the publications that you like, and then you pick and choose the information that you want. But at the same time, you have to be careful because you do want to have a wide array of opinions and a wide array of coverage as well from the left and the right.
1 in 4 adults report that they shared fake news at one point in time, whether they knew it or not. Alright, I'm going to show you guys a few websites that are really good for looking into fake news and kind of stopping it from spreading. First one I'm going to show you is PolitiFact. There's actually a winner of the Pulitzer Prize. You can go ahead and search whatever you want. You might have heard some sort of wild claim, seen some article posted, shared on social media, and you want to look into that. You can search it right here, or you can just scroll down. You can see some of the top stories going on right now. Scroll down a little further, you're seeing the latest from PolitiFact. It's kind of what's newest and also what's kind of trending. And what really makes PolitiFact great is this truth meter that they have. So right here it's saying that this claim right here is true, but this one right here is showing that it's false, and it gives you a little bit of insight into why it's false. We can go down and see even more. So right here, this pants on fire, total lie. Here's another total lie. Here's one that's false. Gives you that little bit of insight into why it's false. You can click on these and kind of go a little bit deeper. That's about all for PolitiFact, but this is a really, really good website. The next one I'm going to show you is Snopes.com. Go ahead and go on there, and when it loads up, here it is. You go ahead and go down. Now, this doesn't have the truth meter that makes PolitiFact really great and really easy to identify and kind of get that really quick answer as to whether something's true or not. But you still see claims, random news stories, articles that are posted. You can click on it. So here's one right here. We'll go ahead and click on this, and right here it'll say it's unproven. So it's not that simple, hey, it's false, it's mostly false, or it's pants on fire or whatever. It's just saying, hey, this is unproven, and you can read into it a little more to see, why is this unproven. So this is probably where it sprung from. Somebody posted this, and now this is their response saying, maybe it's not all that true. This is an unproven statement. So these are two really good websites you guys can use. We really recommend using them. When you hear something a little crazy, something you're maybe a little skeptical of, doesn't sound totally right, or just something you want to make sure is right before you share it, go ahead and check it out on 1 or 2 of these websites, and that'll really help curb all the spreading of fake news.
Another way to ensure that we are reading, sharing, and posting accurate information is to take whatever article or news that we are reading and compare it to other articles that are written by credible sources regarding the same topic. For example, if I'm, say scrolling through Facebook and I see a news story that looks interesting to me, the best move would be to check that same news story with a more credible news source, just to make sure all the information adds up and everything is the same.
One of the things that we have to do is really challenge ourselves to not accept things just because they sound true. One of the things that I always try to do is just cross-verify with another source. If only one source is saying something, it's probably not true. If multiple sources are saying the same thing in the same way, it's probably true. But it's more along the lines of just double-checking to make sure that what you see is actually the truth. And there's plenty of good fact-checking sites out there that will help you with that. The other thing we can do is not reflexively share. So you see something, you're like, oh my gosh, share, retweet, whatever the button is on your suggested social media. We got to be really careful not to do that reflexively. Check, then share, rather than share and then check. So some of this is on us. We're, as the users, we're just as responsible for the profligation of fake stuff as anyone else. So we've got to be responsible enough to be good consumers of digital media and make sure it's true before we share, rather than sharing because it sounds true or sharing because it fits our partisan beliefs, but sharing because we've checked it out and we've verified it. We've said, you know what, the world needs to know this.
Hey man, what's up?
What's up, dude?
Hey, so after talking with my friend here, he taught me a couple ways how to fact check sources. And I decided to use Snopes and PolitiFact on the Clarion, and I found out that it's actually a really credible newspaper. Thank you for showing me.
Yeah, dude, Clarion's all good to go, man. See, bro?
Oh, what's up? Oh, is that the Clarion?
Hell yeah.
I heard that's all fake news, man.
Nah, man, this is my shit right here.
Loses 85 pounds in just 3 weeks by following this diet, then the odds are that article will be busted up.
That's perfect.
So also another thing we could do. Oh shit.
Just believe one sentence from what the person said. There could always be more specific dialogue in which the person given is quoted saying, "Fuck. God damn it. I took my eyes off the thing."
Be open-minded and read more than one news source. If two news sources are both saying similar things, then it's much more likely that fuck.